Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk about something I saw kind of come through social media, and I know this is really a new topic. It's going to be less in depth than a lot of the stuff I normally cover here, but it just caught my attention, and I found it almost amusing, and at the same time kind of sad that it's an actual problem for anyone, and I'm going to offer solutions here, because there might be someone looking through a search engine somewhere, and that's people who say things like they struggle to lose weight because they cannot afford a gym membership. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, before we get into any logistics of this, we need to look at this problem at face value, and I think what this comes down to is, again, oftentimes the general population not understanding what causes weight loss and fat loss. All right, it's kind of like the same people who say, I can't afford to eat healthy. Right, I can't afford to eat healthy, therefore I can't do whatever or lose weight, and it's like, really healthy foods can be really cheap. But the ironic part is that what do we know based upon all the research? Every real expert, not pseudo experts, not book writers, every real expert knows that what is the key to weight loss? Calories in versus calories out. So for someone to say that having too little money makes it harder to lose weight is really fundamentally kind of a ludicrous statement. In other words, if you can't afford a gym membership, how can you afford enough food to stay fat? In other words, a gym membership is what, at most, even for a good one, maybe $50 a month usually. They can go higher depending upon where you live. I'm not talking about people in New York City. You guys have your own weird economic situation. But in most places, most gym memberships are $50 or less, usually less, depending on what you get, right? So this person can't cut $50 out of their grocery bill, because I can tell you right now, if you're 30 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, you probably spend a lot of money on food. You spend a lot of money on food to do that. Even me, as a lifter, I'm weighing like 218 right now, and I'm dropping weight. I spend a lot of money on food even to only lose a pound or so a week. For me to drop at that rate is a lot of food. It's a lot of food. But anyone who's carrying a lot of extra body weight, your food budget is probably really high. I bet you're spending $300+ a month on food. On food alone, all your food intake, everything that you put in your mouth, I bet you is $300 or more if you're really overweight. Like 30 pounds or more overweight, you have to be. Unless you're just eating piles and piles of rice all day, and it's kind of hard to get fat eating nothing but beans and rice. If you're active at all and actually on your feet and do something, it'd be really hard to be overweight on something like that. So you got to wonder, what are you eating? What I would tell to those people is they need to seriously reassess their food budget, because if you're struggling to lose weight, you're eating too much food. You're eating too much food. You see the problem there? So to say that you don't have enough money to lose weight, well, you aren't struggling too bad if you can afford enough food to continue to maintain extra 30 pounds of body weight. You're not struggling too bad. Because you couldn't be, because you're having to buy calories and put them into your mouth. You're having to buy that stuff somewhere. You're getting it somewhere. So you got to look at that and say, maybe you need to reassess what you're doing with your food. It's your food intake that's the problem. And if you can't, come up with $50, well, why don't you slash $50 out of what you eat every month, and that alone would cause you to lose weight without even spending it on the gym. But a person clearly has access to resources if they're not starving. Like, if you're down to 120 pounds because you can't afford food as a man, that's a struggle. But if you can afford enough food to be overweight, you sure as hell can afford a gym membership. Like I said, cut it out of your food budget. Man, maybe what you spend on sodas every month. Maybe what you spend on McDonald's for your extra burgers and fries every month. That could probably pay for your gym membership. Because it's not particularly expensive to eat reasonably healthy. It's not particularly expensive. Chicken, milk, bananas, rice, beans, oats. That stuff's all cheap. And that's perfectly healthy. A combination of those foods right there, that's healthy. So You got to wonder about that. And here's what I would say to these people. The gym isn't there to help you lose body fat. The gym is there to change your body composition. In other words, if you're just trying to burn through calories, you could get up and walk around your block for an hour every day and burn through calories. If your goal for being in the gym is just to use up calories so that you lose weight faster, you can get up and walk and do that. The gym exists to give us access to resistance training equipment so that we can maintain muscle better. Because if you can maintain more muscle, you will lose more fat on the same food. And you'll look better. Otherwise you'll just be a skinnier version of your fat self. If you're losing a lot of muscle with a lot of body fat. So ultimately, you're at the gym to help you maintain muscle, but the fat loss can happen purely as a result of moving more and eating less. That's the foolproof, guaranteed method in every single study ever looking at human beings. Move more and eat less. And what I would say to those people, okay, so your struggle is you're worried about muscle loss, and you can't afford a gym. There's things you can do at home. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to be anywhere near as good as having access to free weights. But it's better than nothing. You can do squats, body weight squats at home. You can do squats. You know what? You can get a backpack. I'm sure even if you're broke, you've got an old backpack laying somewhere. You probably got some straps or a rope or something that you could tie weight to your back. But a backpack with a bunch of junk in it. Or pick up something heavy, I don't know, and lay it across your shoulders like a squat bar. You can add some resistance. You're going to have to do a lot of reps. You might be doing 50 reps at a time because you can only put 30 pounds or 40 pounds of stuff on your back. Okay, fine. That'll retain muscle. I'm sure that you can find a way to do push-ups. And if you need to add resistance, because push-ups really do suck. They really do suck. There's no way to get real resistance on a push-up unless you weigh 500 pounds. You got a couch, you got a fence, something you can put your feet up on so that you can create an incline so that you can make them more difficult. You can do push-ups. How about chin-ups, pull-ups? Yeah. You can find a bar hanging somewhere. You probably might even have a tree you can do pull-ups on. Doesn't that effectively work every muscle in your body? If you have some way to do squats and throw a backpack on to add some weight, a way to do some sort of even an incline push-up where you can put your toes up on the arm of your couch or a chair or your table and do push-ups, and you have something you can do pull-ups or chin-ups on, don't all the muscles in your body basically get worked? Can you find something big and heavy? I don't know, a big rock outside? Anything that you could walk under, bend down, squat, and pick it up and almost get a deadlift in? You can find something. Hell, you can use your couch for that. You can almost replicate a Romanian deadlift lifting the edge of your couch. Is it ideal? No, because you're going to be limited in weight. You're going to be very limited in weight, but if you do enough reps with even these things, you can create enough of a resistance program to hold on to the muscle that you have while you take walks around the block and spend less money on food. So this idea that someone is too broke to lose weight, no, you're not going to build your dream physique. No, you're not going to be an amazing athlete. No, you're not going to reach high level goals without access to weight training equipment. But you don't need it to lose weight, and you don't even need it for someone who doesn't lift. Like, the difference is, guys, when we talk about retaining muscle and needing all these weights, we're talking about those of us who've already built a big foundation. Those of us who are already strong, we have years and years of training. When you deadlift over 500 pounds for work sets, you have a fair amount of muscle, and yeah, you have to really, really train to maintain that muscle when you lose fat. But the average person who's overweight doesn't have so much muscle that holding on to what they have requires them to have access to 500 pounds of plates, right? It just doesn't. They would have to gain enormous amounts of muscle to lift a lot of heavy weight. They can maintain everything they have and possibly even gain a small amount of muscle, which will speed up their overall metabolic rate and energy turnover with just the things that I named. You can do squats at home with a backpack. You can take the edge of your couch and do deadlifts with it. You can do an incline push-up with your toes up on the couch. You can find a tree or a bar hanging somewhere to do pull-ups or chin-ups. All right, that will cover all of the major muscles in your body. Everything is getting worked. You can get enough resistance doing all of that for someone who's fairly new to training to hold on to the muscle they have while they just eat less food. But it's hilarious to think that anyone really and truly thinks that they can't financially afford to lose weight, when the reason they're overweight and they're fat is because they buy and eat too much food. Believe me, if you were that poor, you wouldn't be fat. Even if you're poor and you got food stamps, what you're choosing to spend those food stamps on and how much you're eating is still a choice. It's still a financial resource. It really is. So it blows my mind when you hear people say things like this, that they can't afford to go to a gym, therefore they can't afford to lose weight. It's absolutely ludicrous, and it really is. This is people making excuses when the reality is I gave you the solutions. If you're starting out and you're overweight, and you are overweight and you just need to lose weight, and you can't really afford to train, what I call real training yet, you could do all those things that I just listed at home without access to a single machine, without access to a single weight, without access to a dumbbell, to a barbell, anything. You could find a way to do those things with just stuff you have around your house. That is enough resistance for an untrained person to hold on to their muscle while they diet. And dieting is just calories in and calories out. You need to find a way to eat less food and move more. Walking around your block is free. That doesn't cost anything. Doing push-ups and pull-ups is free. Doing air squats is free. That doesn't cost you a single penny, other than the energy spent on the food to give you the calories to do that, which in this case is already stored in your reserve tank. You've already paid for it. It's already there. It's already bought. You bought every ounce of fat that's on your body with calories that you paid for and consumed already. You already paid for the fat. You paid for the fuel for this exercising. But there's your solution. It's that simple. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.